All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the last thing, which is going to be tires. Tires are extremely important. Obviously, if you don't have good tires, the brakes won't matter. Turning and steering wouldn't matter. It's a very, very dangerous situation. We want to make sure our tires are in a good spot. So first thing we're going to do, again, we're going to test our pressure. Okay. For mine was right exactly where it needed to be. Now understand that for pickup trucks, your tire pressure is going to be different from the front versus the rear. The way that you can know to check to make sure that it is the proper PSI is inside your driver's side door. On that little door frame there is usually a sticker that tells you exactly what the tire pressure needs to be for the front and the rear of the vehicle. The other thing, okay, we want to make sure the condition of the tire itself is good. We know the tire pressure is good, but what about the condition of the tire itself? So I will give you a little bit of a secret. I'm going to go to check this, grab a quarter, okay? So on the quarter, you've got the heads, okay? You're going to have our fantastic, wonderful, patriotic George Washington that's on the front there. And there's going to be a distance between the top of his head and to the top of the coin itself. What we're going to do is we're going to turn it upside down. So Mr. Washington looks like he's diving into a beautiful lake of freedom. And I'm going to put that inside one of my treads, okay, or in between two treads. If I can see the top of General Washington's head, it's time for me to change my tires. They're now way too far gone to be driving on to be safe, okay? But if I cannot see the top of his head, you're pretty much good to go. The last thing I will say on tires is understand that there's a difference between rotating tires. So if you wanted to start rotating tires yourself, I highly recommend it. It's not hard at all. It's a very simple thing to do. I just understand it may be difficult because you won't be able to balance the tire like you would get from a tire shop. But as long as you're not getting strong vibrations within the steering wheel while you're driving, then you really don't need to rebalance your tires. What I mean by that is there's different types of treads that are on your cars and vehicles today. And they either require you to either pass your tires in a different direction or to take the back tire on, let's say, the passenger side and move it to the passenger side of the front, and this tire would go to the back, so on and so forth. Make sure that you understand the type of tire that you're using. I'm using Michelin's on mine. Understand the type of tread that it may have on those. Also, you consult to your driver's manual to see if maybe it requires you to do this, either the X method is what I'll call it, or the straight pass back method. You're going to definitely want to do that because you want to evenly wear the tread that's on your tire. If you don't, it's going to prematurely lose traction. It
would give me the traction for full sexual release.
Or I'm sorry, lose condition, which means you're going to start losing traction. It's not going to be good for your vehicle, okay? The other things I'm going to look for is if I have any unnatural wear patterns on my tire. Do I have balding going on in the center? Do I have balding going on the outsides? Do I have balding going on only on the outside? If I do, that means I've got another issue. And guys, we can go into what causes those, but to be straightforward on it, if you're seeing any of this type of God, Neil, use your words. If you're seeing any one of these wear patterns where it seems to be inconsistent on the tire, please take it to a shop and have them take a look at it, and they'll be able to let you know more than likely what's causing that wear and tear. But if it's not, and it's a nice, good wear pattern going between the entire tire and on the treads, then you're good, okay? The last thing I will say is you always hear that little, I mean, you don't really hear it so much anymore, but people will say, oh, well, you kick the tire, and if you got a good bounce back when you kick the tire, then that means it's good, it's got plenty of pressure. Not true. It's never been true. It's something that was done in a commercial a long time ago, and it was a gimmick. It's not true at all. So please make sure you keep your tires good. Do not overinflate your tires because that will cause unnatural wear and tear onto the tire. And do not deflate your tires. Yes, I know some people out there will deflate them to get better traction when they're off-road.
Fuck you, redneck.
Let them do that. If you're driving to and from work, you don't need to do that. Keep your tire pressure as close as you can to the recommended PSI or pounds per square inch that the manufacturer requires, or the tire itself actually requires. And this will actually help you save some gas. Okay, your car will run, or truck will run more efficiently. Okay, so there you go, guys. That is basic maintenance to just make sure your car's doing okay. It shocks me that, you know, even the state I live in Pennsylvania, thank God we don't do it in Florida, but they actually make you once a year go in and get your car checked.
All taxation is theft.
It's another way for the state to get money from you. But what I just kind of ran you through, outside of a few steps like checking mirrors and stuff like that, or checking your lights, it's essentially everything I just walked you through. Okay, so you can do this on your own. Double check your vehicle before you even send it into that garage. So if they say, hey, your brake reservoir is low, you can say, no, I checked it before I left the house. Okay, this knowledge is power. So guys, I hope that was beneficial for you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode.
Go f*** yourself, San Diego.